Hi, this is Gadget at Left Coast EV. We're here south of downtown Los Angeles in beautiful sunny California. In this episode of EV Conversions 101, we're going to compare expectations versus reality in your conversion experience. First, let's talk about power. There are three basic questions that I get all the time. One of them is, will I have enough power to go on the freeway? The second one is, will it be at least as fast as the car that I have now? And the third one is, I want 1,000 horsepower. I want to be faster than anything on the road. So I can't guarantee that third one. That's a tough one. But 1 and 2, in almost every case, I can guarantee you'll have more power than you have now. Let's say you're talking about a mid-60s Volkswagen bus. They came with 40 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 36 seconds, brand new from the factory. These days, that car would be what I consider a hazard in navigation. It's kind of slow off the line. You got to go around it on the freeway, maybe 65 on a good day. So leaves room for improvement. And with electric motors, like a Nissan Leaf, we can get 150 to 200 horsepower. A small drive unit out of a Tesla, that's already 300. And the large drive unit, around 6 and sometimes a little bit more. And one of the big differences is the driving experience, where normally you'd either go through gears or you have this automatic transmission and the pulsing and the shifting, where with electric, you hit the gas, you take off, it's smooth the whole way until you let off the gas, and then the car starts to slow down with regenerative braking. It's an entirely different driving experience, one where you hardly have to use your brake at all. The other kind of questions I get is about range. I've had people saying, I've got a motorhome, I want 500 miles, or, I have a 65 Mustang and I want 300 miles. These are kind of out of the realm of possibility. It's complicated, so let's talk about it. I have a rule of thumb that I've come up with over the years. And so if we're talking about the range that a gas car gets, say it gets 10 miles per gallon, it's got a 20-gallon tank, just for easy numbers, 200 miles, right? 100 kilowatt hour pack works out to about 15.3 gallons. That means if you got 10 miles per gallon, you'd be getting about 153 miles. So that rule of thumb works. Doesn't always mean you can stuff that much in a car. So let's get on to the next part, which is rolling resistance. Rolling resistance is how hard it is just to roll the car. So this is your tires, basically. If you have old bias tires, they don't roll very easily. Radial tires, you get better mileage. There are now what's called a low rolling resistance tire. It has a slightly different compound and it doesn't take as much to roll. You could also change the aspect ratio of your tires so that you had a lower aspect ratio. That helps. Running your tires at higher pressure, that helps. All these things will give you a little bit of range. However, the problem with rolling resistance is that it goes up with weight. So if you want to add more batteries to go further, there's a point of diminishing returns where you've added so much weight to your car that one, it's too heavy, and now the brakes aren't as good, the suspension's bottomed out, and the rolling resistance has gotten really high. So there is a point where one just has to stop and say enough. The next thing we want to talk about is mechanical resistance. That is the brakes dragging, because disc brakes drag a little bit, drum brakes drag a little bit. It's the wheel bearings, whatever drag is in there. If you have a 6-speed transmission, it's all of those gears running around in oil. If you have a rear differential with a high point gear on it, that's a 90-degree angle. That has some sliding resistance. All of this resistance can add up to 15%, even a little more. So if you were to change that whole drive system to something like a Tesla drive unit, and you get rid of all that, you could probably extend your range a good 15%. Lastly, wind resistance. Wind resistance is resistance to go through the air. Basically, the car will have a coefficient of drag, and you take the coefficient of drag and you multiply it by its frontal area, and that'll give you your whole drag, which means you can have a little teeny car that's like a brick, and its coefficient of drag might be good or better than, say, a bullet train, which is huge, but has a great coefficient of drag. So, you just need to, you can play with this and work with it. But if you're going less than 35 miles an hour, like you're in a mail truck, it doesn't really make a difference. It's when you're going like 55 or 75 or 100, this makes a difference. And it doesn't go up linear, it goes up more exponentially. So between 55 and 75, it's way more than double. It's like any time that you go drive your car on the freeway and say you take a trip at 55 miles an hour and then you do the trip again at 100 miles an hour, look at how much more gas you're burning up. So there are ways to improve that a little bit. You could lower the car, you could put a skirt around the front, you could put a cam spoiler in the back, which are all things you can do to a more modern car. But if you've got a classic, like from the 30s or even the early 50s, like, yeah, you can't really do it. You might lower the car, but that's about it. So these are options that aren't really available to you. So what it comes down to, say you've got a Volkswagen bus and I put 80 kilowatt hours in it, I can give you 200 plus miles, but I don't know if I can put that size pack in a Camaro. And even if I do, you're only going to get maybe 150. So really, we do our best. We crunch the numbers. We'll give you the best we can. Technically, a gallon of gas holds about 35 kilowatt hours of energy. Theoretically, a gasoline engine can turn about 17% of that into forward motion. But empirically, my number has worked out to around 15%, so it's not even that good. Now let's talk about potential upgrades. The first one being power brakes. Your car is going to be heavier, so why not have power brakes? And while we're at it, how about disc brakes all around? Have your old car handle like a new car. It's worth it if you're going to do it. Second one, power steering. The car's going to be a little heavier. Why not have power steering? And if you've got an older car that has the old steering, the old worm sector steering, we can upgrade it to rack and pinion so it doesn't wander all over the road and it feels like a modern car. Next is air conditioning. We can retrofit almost any car with air conditioning. We use an electric compressor so it's nice and quiet, and now you have heat and air. The next one is the electronic parking brake. Electronic parking brake, it sets the brake harder than you can, so you don't even have to think about it. We can set it up so that when you just take it out of gear, put it into park, it sets the brake and you're ready to go. Easy. Lastly, cameras. We have a system where your turn signals will actuate the cameras. You can have a left camera, right camera, and a rear camera. You put on the signal, the image goes to your screen. Easy. Backing up, you can see where you're going. Why not have all the features of a modern car in your conversion? And now for the YouTube stuff. Thanks for watching till the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. See you in the next one. Ciao.